anytime you have a decimal, in our class we really want to round to the nearest tens. So this 5.38 is going to really be 5.4. Okay? So C is going to be 5.4. We just have to check to make sure that the hypotenuse here is longer than our legs, and it is. All right, we can condense Pythagorean theorem by the distance formula. We wanted to find this hypotenuse. What we originally did here is we took the difference, the length between this x and this x. So we took, this is a 3 here, 1, 2, 3, and this is a 5. So I took the difference between my 5 and my 3, and I got 2 for the length between this. So I took the difference of my x values. Then I took the difference of my y values. Up here was a 6, and down here was a 1. So 6 minus 1 gave me 5. So I took the difference of my y values. Then, remember this 2 was the difference of my x values? I squared it. So then I squared it. Same thing with my y values. I took the difference of my y values, 5, and I squared those. Right? Then I added them together in Pythagorean's theorem. After I added them together, I ended up taking the square root of both sides, right? So I took the square root of both sides. This right here gave me that hypotenuse C. If this is just a condensed way to find the distance of a hypotenuse without having to draw the right triangle. So down here, find the find the distance between points A, which is 3, 1, 3, -1, and B, which is 2, 4. We're going to take a shortcut. Instead of putting it on a coordinate plane like we did up there, we're going to do the distance formula. So the distance formula is the square root of the difference of our x's squared, plus the difference of our y's squared. So just make sure that you label these. A lot of people get these confused. Your x's are first, your y's are second, just like in the alphabet. X comes before y. So now I'm just plugging and chugging. My two x's were 3 and 2. So I'm going to take 3 and subtract 2 and then square it. I'm going to add that to the difference of my y's, which is a -1 minus 4, and I'm going to square that. Now remember PEMDAS. You start with your parentheses, okay? Then you work on your exponents, and then multiplication. Remember PEMDAS? So we need to work on simplifying our parentheses. What's inside the parentheses? Well, 3 minus 2 is 1. We're going to square that. Plus -1 minus 4, subtract 4 from a -1, you get a -5, and we're going to square that. Now the reason I kept my parentheses here is because when you put this in your calculator, you need to leave the parentheses there. So now I'm going to simplify. 1 squared is still 1. 1 times 1 is 1. A -5 times a -5, two negatives give me a +25. Now if you put it in your calculator like this, parentheses -5 squared, you're going to get a +25. But if you put it in like this, without the parentheses, you're going to get a -25. Because what it's doing is it's squaring a 5 and then making it negative. So we don't want to do that. Okay, so we're going to finish this up. -5 squared, that was a +25. So now we have this 4. Negative 1 squared is negative 1 times negative 1, which is a positive 1. Okay, now we're going to figure out what the square root of 5 is. Go on back to my calculator. Square root of 5 is a little bit bigger than the square root of 4, and the square root of 4 is 2. So the square root of 5 is 2.23. We're going to round that up to, or round it to 2.2. We always round to the nearest tenth place, unless you're told otherwise. So the distance between those points is 2.2. All right, now we're going to move on to the midpoint. This got cut off a little bit, but it does say midpoint right here. The midpoint is taking the average. It's finding the average, or the middle point between two other points. The middle point between two endpoints. I'm just abbreviating it with endpoints. So everyone knows how to do this problem. If you were given two test scores and you wanted to know what the average of your two tests were, would you add those together or would you subtract them? And hopefully you know that you're supposed to add the two test scores together. You have a 65 and a 95. You add them together, and then what do? You divide by how many tests there are. There's two tests. So we're going to take 65 and 95, which is 160, divided by 2. As they're added together, we're going to take them and divide by 2. It gives us an 80. If you're one of those plug and shove into the calculators type of person, you have to put this in parentheses because you want this to be divided, this whole thing to be divided by 2. You see it in your calculator, it's only going to divide the 95 by 2. So make sure you put this in parentheses. Or do like I did and figure out what goes on the numerator and then divide by the denominator. Okay, so if we're going to find the midpoint of a segment, you have negative 1 here, I know it's hard to see, and you have a positive 7 here. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to find the average of those x values, or those point values. So we're going to take our negative 1, we're going to add it to a positive 7, and we're going to divide by 2. So we're going to get a 7 plus a negative 1, which is 6, divided by 2, which is 3. 6 divided by 2 I get from -1 to -9? Well, I